Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. It is 5:30 p.m. on Monday, June 23rd, and this is the meeting of the Paris City Council. We'll start with the invocation led by Pastor Bob Bush and the Pledge of Allegiance by Aaron Jenkins. Please stand.
Almighty God, we thank you for our city council. We thank you for all the committees that represent us, for the officials of the city. We thank you for the serious business they're willing to take on responsibility to superintend for us. We thank you that what they have to sometime discuss and clarify in executive session can be clarified for all of us. And we thank you that they are not fence builders, but bridge builders. And we thank you so much for them, and bless this country and bless the city of Paris. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the Citizens Forum. Persons desiring to address the council must limit their presentation to no more than 2 minutes. Unless an item is posted on the agenda, the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the council from responding to any comments other than to refer the matter to a future agenda, to an existing policy, or to a staff person with specific factual information. Claims against the city, council members, or employees, as well as individual personnel appeals, are not appropriate for the Citizens Forum. And Reverend Price, if you'll state your name and address, please.
My name is James Price, live at 1230 Shiloh, and here in Paris, Texas. Today, I want to commend the city manager, John Godwin, Councilman Jenkins, Councilman Lancaster, and Councilman Hosman for responding last time to the meeting I had in the park by cleaning the city of Paris up. Also, I'd like to let everybody else know there'll be another meeting on the 13th of July, 11 a.m. Little Williams Park. So we gotta clean our city up, y'all. City is filthy. We gotta clean it up, ultimately limbs and stuff. So I made a approach to City Manager Godwin, and we're talking about things. So hope y'all all back him what he's talking about. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Sherry Bedford, Main Street. I wanted to let you guys know that today I had the honor of showing our town to Paige McCoy Smith from Channel 8 News, and Paris is going to be host to Good Morning Texas on July the 7th. And so we're going to have a big hoorah. We're asking for every one of your support in downtown on the plaza on July the 7th, approximately 8:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning. And we're inviting the entire city of Paris to come down and show support for Paris. This opportunity was given to us because of our name, Paris, and they are doing a series on European named Texas cities. And so we had a great day showing off some of our sites today, but we definitely want to get a crowd rally behind us on July the 7th for our Good Morning Texas debut.
I just wanted to play a little recording here. It's mainly the
Staff in making Paris the destination that it should be. We're not politicians. We shouldn't be. We're simply stewards. And as mayor, the responsibility as stated in the city charter is to preside over the council meetings and be recognized as the head of the city for ceremonial purposes only, no more, no less. I want you all to know I take all these items to heart and hope that you will as well. I realize above all else, unless we all are together and succeed, none of us win. Paris doesn't move forward without the seven of us, not just one. So I want to say thank you to everyone, and again, thank you for indulging me in that. So with that, we'll move forward with the election of Mayor Pro Tem. At this time,
I don't totally believe in what the Parish News says sometime, but I read all the PEDC stuff, and I'm having a hard time connecting all the dots. I know you can't answer me now, but I hope in the proceedings we can clear this up, and instead of 2 council members, I would like to have seen all 7 of y'all together. And to me, there's a lot of bickering and fighting, and I would like to see a more uniform council. And I think the citizens of Paris would be a lot better off.
Thank you.
My name is Anna Spencer. I live at 1710 34th Street Northeast in Paris. And agenda item number 2 on the agenda was posted for the City Council meeting to be held on June 12, 2004. And it was for executive session for forensic investigation of PEDC and Deffenbaugh and Associate contract. This meeting was later canceled. I learned last Friday through the news media in Sherman, Texas, that the mayor, mayor pro tem, city manager, and city attorney have conferred with Mr. Deffenbaugh and now have reports. It is reported that Mr. Deffenbaugh is waiting for further direction. So I have to assume that one of the 4 of you independently gave him instruction to halt the investigation until further direction. Your actions, Mr. Mayor, have created an atmosphere of distrust and suspicion. PEDC is funded with public funds. The public has a right to know how much money they have spent and what they have spent the money for. We should not have to maneuver through a maze for answers. I keep hearing that money is being wasted for this investigation or is not being wisely spent. The external investigation is necessitated because city officials and others who are in charge have failed to take corrective action until a few months ago. So the charges for this investigation are not being wasted. The investigation must be completed and corrective action must be taken. Furthermore, you should require that all funds spent in conflict with the purpose of PEDC be repaid by the beneficiary.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry, but your 2 minutes are up.
Thank
you very much for your time.
Louise Mosley, 3915 Shannon Drive, Paris, Texas. Last time I was up here was the last session, and I was telling you how appalled I was on how the council was being ran. Then I read in the paper.
Ms. Mosley, can you please bring the mic a little closer? We can't hear.
You can't hear me? I read in the paper what was going on, and I was appalled last session of what I had seen and witnessed. This has nothing to do with the money. I have watched you on video. I have played it over and over again, and you table everything because you don't want it brought forward. Then Rebecca answered all of your questions. There was nothing that she did not answer. And then you took it upon yourselves to go and get you and the pro-mayor, the lawyer, and our city manager. What legal right did you have to do that, to leave out the other council members? I have never seen a council ran like this before, and I'm thoroughly disappointed. Thank you.
Good morning, good evening, I'm sorry. Judy Battle, Paris, Texas. I just want to piggyback on what Anna was saying. By the beneficiary, unless they can prove a valid connection to the PEDC purpose. Because of the 7 of you are sitting on this council, you are charged with representing and speaking for the citizens of Paris without bias or favoritism. Please remove the roadblocks from this investigation and let it continue. We, the citizens of Paris, Mayor, we want to know what the hidden agenda is, and this will not die down. Some way, somehow, we will find the answers to what our problems are.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak this time? If not, the citizens forum is now closed. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Does anyone on the council have any items they'd like to be removed individually from the consent agenda? If not, I'll take a motion.
Actually, Mr. Franklin,
Sure.
I think I do have an item. Just give me 1 second. I wanted clarification on the $5,000 for the economic study. Mr. Godwin can probably answer this. Is this separate from the retail that is being spent? There's a $5,000 expense.
Item number 10?
Yes.
If it says economic, it should say environmental. That's a typo. That's what it
No,
says.
no. Actually, it's not on that. It is in the, I think it was on the Planning and Zoning Commission that there was a $5,000 expense written. I'll have to take it out again, but it's written that there's a $5,000 expense for an economic study. And what I wanted to clarify was, is this separate from the retail that we have done? Maybe Jean could answer.
Did you say this is in the planning and zoning?
It is on one of the consent agenda items. I had written it, but I don't know exactly.
Now, there is a $5,000 for an environmental, or do you? Okay.
I was going to say, I
That's,
didn't really
that's
know that.
part of that trail grant.
Okay.
On item number 10, so that may be what you're thinking about.
Okay, I'll try to read it, and if
Okay.
I can bring that back again to find out exactly
And I'll look too.
where I found that. But it said economic study of $5,000. We can move on,
Okay.
Mr. Frierson, and
That's
if I can
sufficient.
come back to that once I find it.
Okay, so you want to approve the, okay. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Dr. Hoshman. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Jenkins. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to the regular agenda. Item number 11.
Item 11 is to approve appointments to the Paris-Lamar County Health District Board.
Okay, and somehow I'm getting lost in my pages now. I apologize. What page is this? As random as that sounds.
Mr. Frierson, can I
Yep.
make one suggestion, please?
Sure.
If for the people who are scanning these, if with the item number, if we can please put the page numbers down, it'll be easier to search for next time.
I totally agree with that, actually. Apologize, folks, for the hold up here. Okay, sorry. That is page number 79 is what it appears. Okay. And Mr. Godwin, you want to discuss this?
I don't have anything. This is just the annual appointments for the health board. Gina is here. If you have any questions of her, and of course you've gotten the information about the people that have applied for those spots. And in fact, they've actually made recommendations, specific recommendations on this item. In fact, I'm on the wrong page. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Ms. Prestridge.
We opened up the board appointment spots on our webpage, and we advertised those through the Paris News, and we had people apply, and the applications came in and came before the board, the current board, and they did vote on the particular individuals that you have before you. And now the role from the interlocal agreement is that they go before the county commissioners and then before the city council for approval. So they were first approved by the Paris-Lamar County Health Department Board, and now they're in front of you for approval.
Okay. Any discussion with the council? Can I get a motion to approve the applicants?
I'll make the motion.
Dr. Hashmi makes the motion. Ms. Lancaster?
I do have one question on this too. Is it gone through the county? Because last time we had an issue with this, that the county had not approved, we had to come back.
I was there this morning, and they approved.
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank
Thank you.
Ms. Prestridge. Appreciate that. Item number 12.
Item 12, appoint members to the various boards, commissions, and committees of the City of Paris.
Okay. Everyone has their updated list from Ms. Ellis, I assume? Mr. Pickle?
Can I make a motion that we table this until Dr. Gross-Nickel gets here? Because I know that he wanted to be involved in this process. And I know if any of us were gone, I'm sure that the others would want us to be involved. So I just ask that we defer this till the next council meeting.
Okay. Mr. Godwin, are there any restrictions on time?
No. If positions are not filled, then whoever's in that spot at the time serves until they're replaced. So terms can go long. Of course, you've got some vacancies. Right. So that would be true for vacancies. Those would remain vacant until somebody is appointed.
Okay. So your motion?
I'd like to table it until the first meeting in July.
Okay. Is there?
Because Dr. Gross-Nickel will be back then.
Okay. I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. So 3-3 there?
3-3, the motion does not pass.
Correct. All right. Well, with that in mind.
If I can make just one thing on that, I understand your concern, but I think some of the boards have become kind of non-functional, and so I would favor that we go ahead and vote on it, whatever we can do.
All right. Well, with that being said.
Are we required to vote on all these regardless? I mean, do we have to make our decisions tonight on all the ones that are on this agenda?
Well, it's an agenda item, and so you'll need to address the entire item. And how you do that, it kind of depends on what motions are made and what votes are taken.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Okay.
So you'll need to go through the whole list. Now,
Okay.
how you go through that list is up to the council.
That's fine.
Okay. We'll just start at the beginning with the Airport Advisory Board. And looks like we have 3 openings there. And like I said, everyone has their list of applicants. Do you have yours, Aaron? And then we'll just take nominations from those and vote on those individually.
Mr. Price,
Sure.
can we have the clerk give the names out at least so that?
Sure, those are the applicants?
Yeah, the applicants.
Sure. That's just fine. Give her a moment to get hers together.
Okay.
And for the Airport Advisory Board?
For the Airport Advisory Board, I show Dennis Ashby, Matt Birch, George Mike Hamilton, Donald Carrick, Mike Lazar, Donnie Nasler, and Philip Payne.
And how many
Okay.
openings, if we can?
3
repeat
openings
them?
on this board.
3 openings.
So any nominations from the group or,
I'll nominate Mr. Ashby.
okay? Have a vote on Mr. Ashby. Is there a second?
Not needed, Mr. President.
Fine. All those in favor of Mr. Ashby, say aye.
Aye.
Aye? Okay, Mr. Ashby.
Who seconded that? I'm sorry.
Actually, second on board appointments, second is not required.
Okay.
So, okay. Any other nominations?
I'll nominate Mr. Burchinal.
Okay.
I mean, unless somebody else wants to nominate,
Nominate who?
Matt
then,
Birch.
yeah.
Oh, Matt Birch.
Yes.
But I'll take my nomination back if somebody else wants to vote, I mean, or nominate.
Okay, right there. We have a nomination of Matt Birch. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? No? Okay, Mr. Birch. And one final opening on Airport Advisory Board.
I'll nominate Philip Payne.
Okay. Mr. Payne. All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? No? Okay. Moving on to, just to keep with the agenda with the Band
Okay.
Commission.
The Band Commission.
There are 2 openings.
Randy Bunch, Cleon Drake, Stephen Englehart, Christian Lindsay, Betsy Mills, Byron Myrick, and Carla Wallace.
I'll nominate Randy Bunch.
Okay, I have a nomination, Mr. Bunch. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And
Opposed?
also
No?
nominate Kristen Lindsay also.
Okay, so we got the first appointment, all right. And I'm sorry, Mr. Jenkins, your nomination was?
Kristen Lindsay.
Kristen Lindsay. Okay, and, all right. All those in favor of Mr. Lindsay, say aye.
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 Aye. I'm sorry, Ms., excuse me. I got caught up in there.
Mr. Frierson, can I get a clarification? Since this might come up again, a council member who has been on the council, are they allowed to be on a board for another 2 years? My understanding was they cannot be on a board for 2 years after they have gone from the council. Is that correct, or is that only apply to PEDC?
I believe it's 1 year.
12 months, I
It's
believe.
12 months they have to sit on.
So in that case, Mrs. Drake wouldn't be a candidate anyway?
I believe that to be the case.
Okay.
It's not complete. There's some I don't have.
Okay, moving on to building and standards. We have 3 spots available on that commission. And the applicants,
David Ballard, Randall Lindsay, Sally McEwen, Billy Tornado, and Ben Vaughn, and Carla Wallace.
I'm sorry, who was the last one?
Carla
Carla
Wallace.
Sue,
I'd like to nominate Sally McEwen.
Sally
You
McEwen.
know, she's been on the board and done a very nice job.
Okay. We have a nomination of Ms. McEwen. All those,
I'm in favor.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No? Okay. Ms. McEwen? All right. 2 more nominations for this commission. If I'll make a recommendation of Randall Lindsay.
I'll favor.
Okay. All in favor, Mr. Lindsay? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? No? Okay. Mr. Lindsay and
I'll nominate Ben Vaughn.
Ben Vaughn. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you. Okay, we have a nomination of Mr. Piggle of Ben Vaughn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Opposed? No? Mr. Vaughn? Okay. Next, Historic Preservation Commission. There are 3 terms up.
We have Cindy Alcorn, Ruth Ann Alsobrook, David Ballard, Sherry Holbert, Donald Carrick, and Stella Nance.
Okay. Nomination, Ms. Lancaster.
Ruth Ann Alsobrook. Ruth Ann Alsobrook.
Okay. All those in favor of Ms. Alsobrook, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. That's
Cindy,
also-
I'll nominate Cindy Alcorn.
Okay. Nomination Cindy Alcorn for Mr. Pickle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
I'll nominate Sherry Holbert.
Okay. Nomination of Sherry Holbert for Mr. Pickle. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
I'll oppose it.
Okay. So Ms. Holbert is appointed. All right, find her name. Okay. Next is the Housing Authority.
We
And
have
2 terms there.
We have David Ballard, Glee Emmett, Joe McCarthy. We have Gary Savage and Denise Williams.
Okay.
I nominate Gary Savage.
Okay. Nomination of Mr. Savage from Mr. Jenkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Mr. Savage. All right. And 2. So it's not me, is it, Ken?
Not me either.
One of us? Okay, good to know. Okay. One other position on Housing Board.
I nominate Denise Williams.
Denise Williams, okay. Nomination Denise Williams from Mr. Jenkins. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Okay. Library Advisory Board. There are 4 terms available.
It is Ruth Ann Alsobrook, Denise Cornegay, Francine Neely, John Michael Pendleton, Rebecca Umphrey, and Carla Wallace.
Okay. Now, Ms. Alsobrook is
He's already.
not eligible because we just placed her on a different board there, so this is kind of where it starts getting confusing at this point.
I'll nominate Denise Cornegay.
Okay. We have a nomination from Mr. Plata. All those in favor of Ms. Cornegay say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No? Okay.
I will nominate Rebecca Umphrey.
Rebecca Umphrey from Mr. Pickle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No? Okay. All right. Let's nominate Francine Neely, if she's on the board now. All those in favor of Ms. Neely say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. And looks like one more appointment here, if anybody has a nomination.
Has Mrs. Woodard applied or not applied this time? Okay. I just wanted to be sure. Okay.
Sure. And I'd like to nominate Mike Pendleton for the last spot. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next committee is the Main Street Advisory Board. It was listed, I believe, in your agenda. Is this correct? There are 3 vacancies, but in actuality, there are 4. We had a recent resignation of Matt Coyle, so there are now 4 vacancies on this committee?
The applicants are, go ahead.
Yes, no applicants.
Jill Drake, Sherry Holbert, Donald Carrick, Randall Lindsay, Stella Nance, Millica Starnes, Nancy Waldrum, and Carla Wallace.
Can I ask you one other question on this?
Yes, sir.
Did Miss Glee Emmett apply for this board?
Hey, Emmett.
No.
Okay.
I don't believe so. And while we're on this one, this is also because of the committee and advisory board restrictions. Ms. Holbert, Mr. Lindsay are not eligible for this. And am I missing one or?
No, that's it.
Okay.
I'll nominate Jill Drake.
Okay. Have a nomination of Ms. Drake. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mayor,
Yes.
Emmett did apply for this one as
She
well.
did, okay.
I've got the originals here.
Oh, okay. Not, it just wasn't on the spreadsheet.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll nominate Miss Emmett.
Okay. Have a nomination of Glee Emmett from Dr. Hashmi. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. Okay.
I'll nominate Nancy Waldrum.
All right. Have a nomination of Nancy Waldrum from Mr. Pickle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No? Okay. Ms. Waldrum. That makes 3. And one position left, yes.
I'll nominate Missy Starnes.
Okay. I have a nomination of Missy Starnes from Mr. Pickle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay. Sorry, I got on the wrong column there, so. Okay. Next one on the list is the Paris Economic Development Corporation. There are 2 positions available here, and the applicants are,
Yeah, David Ballard, Donald Carrick, Randall Lindsay, James Price, Carla Wallace, and Donald Wilson.
okay.
Yes.
And just to be clear, Mr. Lindsay and, am I correct, also Ms. Wallace are also, has she been, the names all kind of run together on me.
Lindsay is on Billing and Standards.
Okay.
The R. Lindsay.
Can you repeat the list of applicants again? I'm sorry.
Yes. Or David Ballard. Oops. John Brockman. Donald Carrick. Randall Lindsay. James Price. Carla Wallace, and Donald Wilson.
Okay.
I'd like to nominate Don Wilson.
Okay. Have a nomination of Mr. Wilson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay. So just to be clear, that's 4-2?
4-2.
Correct? Okay. Nomination of Mr. Wilson. And I'd like to nominate James Brockman.
Can you tell us what happened with Mr.
Wait a minute.
Nothing.
That's not
Okay,
4-3.
3-3?
I don't, Mr. Jenkins, did you vote yes or no?
No. I voted.
You
Mr.
voted.
Wilson, no.
So it's 3-3.
3-3.
Okay, I apologize. I didn't see the show of hands there. Okay. I'd like to nominate James Brockman. All those in favor say aye.
James or John?
I'm sorry, John. It's on my spreadsheet it's James, and I've met him, and it's John. I apologize. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
I oppose.
Okay.
I'd like to nominate James Price. I mean, we haven't had a minority on this list on the board. And I'd like to nominate James Price, and also he can also represent District 2 for the west side of Paris.
Okay, have a nomination of James Price. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Aye. Okay. So that's 3-3 there.
I'll
In
nominate
the
Mr.
effort-
Lindsay.
In the effort of time, I recommend that we table this until Dr. Gross-Nichols gets back. I'm afraid we could do 3-3 all today if we had to, so.
Should we just go through the exercise and finish it?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I'll say,
Is
I'll
that
nominate Mr. Lindsay.
He's already been
Yeah,
nominated.
Oh,
he's already on a
sorry,
different-
sorry.
So,
Yeah, he went on buildings and standards.
yes. So, in the effort of waiting on Dr. Gross-Nichols to come back, should we table this until the next meeting?
No.
Go ahead, let's roll through it.
Okay.
for it.
So,
Who's left?
okay, who's left? Looks like. Let's see, we're taking care of those. Ms. Wallace applied, but she's already been placed on another board. Do we have any applicants left that haven't been placed on another board? I don't.
I think, if I'm gonna say something here, I think personal vendettas need to be set aside. Because you're passing up some good people here that are business-minded to be on the PEDC.
Well, Benny, actually, I would agree with you. I think if we're looking at qualifications, then just picking one out of the bunch, Mr. Brockman in particular, his banking expertise and economic development experience that he's had that he listed on his application in particular, you know, I think you may have a point there, so.
No, well,
At this point.
I think that we should look at the minority also. I mean, they're,
We did, and it didn't pass.
well.
Who's left?
So-
May I ask who's left?
Yeah,
if-
I don't know that
Excuse
there-
me, sir, I did not interrupt you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Please don't interrupt me.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that perhaps we need to look at all of these people a little bit more objectively than their past business, because sometimes in the past, that has not worked out for us. I
Well,
want people interested in Paris.
yes.
Yeah, if y'all would please, and obviously people that are here are very interested in this, if you would pull your microphones as close to you as you can and talk into them so that folks can hear, so we appreciate it.
Sure. Make sure that's down enough. Do we have any applicants left at this juncture? I don't believe that we do on the list that I see, but I could be overlooking.
You have a total of 7 people who applied, so let me just go through the ones, and if they're already on there, you can pass over them. If you already voted on them, you can pass over them. If there's another nomination that you want to vote on, we can do that as we go. The first one is David Ballard. I don't believe you voted on him, have you?
I
No.
don't believe so.
Okay.
His name was not brought
So if
up.
anybody wants to nominate Mr. Ballard. Okay. Then the next one, John Brockman, you voted on. Donald Carrick. I don't believe you voted on that
No,
one.
I believe he may already be on another committee though.
Okay, is that one you've already placed?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Okay. Does anyone wants to nominate
Okay.
Mr. Carrick? Okay. Then Mr. Lindsay has been placed on another board. And then the 5th person is Mr. Price, who you voted on. Carla Wallace, which I know you've talked about, but I don't know if she got put on another board or not.
Main Street, I believe.
Main Street? I know you talked about her, so does anybody want to nominate her for?
Clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
On the Main Street Board, I understood that they were able to hold another position. That was the only one that did.
Oh, able to do what?
Able to hold another position, and that was the
Oh,
only board.
No, I don't know about the rules, so I defer to.
did we, I can't remember if we let Main Street board members serve on the downtown board at the same time. That may have been allowed in the past, but I'm not sure about other boards outside of that, those two. I think the policies say you're supposed to, just one board or commission, except for that one exception.
Yeah, I think that rule is one of the Main Street Advisory Board is on the HPC, the way the HPC is set up.
Okay. So that doesn't apply here.
Right.
Okay. And then the seventh person who has applied is Donald Wilson, and you have voted on him. So those are the 7 persons.
So
You have to bring it back.
yeah, bring it back to the next meeting. Okay. Moving on to planning and zoning, there are 4 openings on this board, the 3 outgoing, and then also Mr. Plata's seat has been vacated on that. So the list of applicants.
How many openings? I'm sorry.
4.
4.
Sorry.
Let's see. Jerry Akers, David Ballard, Johnny Blake, Barney Bray, Keith Flowers, Holland Harper, Randall Lindsay, Billy Trinado, Ben Vaughn, and Carla Wallace.
I nominate Mr. Akers.
All those in favor of Dr. Akers, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay.
I'll nominate Barney Bray.
Mr. Bray by Edwin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
I nominate Keith Flowers.
Okay. Okay, so catch up there. So we have Mr. Bray, and now we have a nomination of Keith Flowers by Mr. Jenkins. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
I nominate Billy Trinado.
Okay. Nomination of Billy Trinado by Mr. Plata. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
I'll nominate Holland Harper.
Nomination of Holland Harper by Mr. Pickle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Okay. And Mr. Harper. Okay.
Is that a fail or a pass?
I only heard you say no. Yeah. Show of hands for Mr. Harper.
No.
For Mr. Harper?
For Mr. Harper. Okay. So that's 4. Those opposed? Okay. So Mr. Harper as well.
That's
Yes.
3 to what?
It was 4 to 2.
4 to 2.
4 to 2?
Yes. Okay. Moving on to the Traffic Commission. 3 seats available there. And the list of applicants.
David Ballard, Johnny Blake, Stephen Englehart, Hayden Jackson, Donnie Neisler, William Sanders, and Carla Wallace.
I nominate David Ballard.
Okay, nomination Mr. Ballard from Mr. Plata. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay, Mr. Ballard.
I'll nominate Steve Englehart.
Okay, nomination of Steve Englehart from Mr. Pickle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. And did we determine Ms. Wallace is not currently serving, or she's Main Street, right? Okay, sorry. Okay, and one final.
I'll nominate Bill Sanders.
Okay, nomination of Bill Sanders. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. All right, Mr. Plata opposing. Okay. Okay, and the Zoning Board of Adjustment. Looks like 1 vacancy there. And, okay. The applicants
Johnny Blake, Brian Glass, Ben Vaughn, and Carla Wallace.
Okay. And Mr. Vaughn and Ms. Wallace are already on other committees, so I'll nominate Mr. Glass to return to the board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. All right. Okay, next is the Visitors and Convention Council. This is elected within the City Council. And we need the mayor and one more, or? Yes. Okay. Well, I'll nominate Edwin Pickle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Okay, and the Architects Council of Governments, council nominates one of its own to serve in that position.
I'd offer my services if somebody wants to.
I'll nominate Dr. Hashmi.
Okay, I'll do it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
It's not bad, Edmund. Don't smile. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, that completes, am I correct? That completes item number 12. Item number 13. If you don't mind.
It will have to be untabled
Okay.
from last time.
Table at the last meeting. Could I get a motion to remove this item?
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Pickle. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Lancaster. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Mr. Anderson.
Okay. As y'all recall, at the last meeting, you heard a presentation from New Gen Strategies concerning the 2014 rate study. And the results of that study were that the current rates for non-contract customers were insufficient to bring in the revenue needed by the Water and Sewer Fund. And that was primarily due to the reduction in consumption by the contract customers and the fact that they were more efficient in using the system. That is, that their peak to average day ratio was decreased over what it had been in the past. So staff recommends that the increased rates be approved on the basis that they were necessary to maintain the financial integrity of the fund.
Okay. Open it up for discussion.
I'd like to say something. It might be true that what you're saying and stuff, but here's what I've been getting from the people around me. And then I wrote this little statement. All right, if the big users of water have become more efficient, and the people they're trying to be more conservative, then why can't the city look for ways to try to be more conservative themselves? That's what people are asking me, rather than just raise rates. And if people would like to see, if there's anywhere you can tweak in any place, the water, sewer, in any department connected with that, see if you can make it more efficient, where there be we can bring the cost down on the city side rather than have to just raise rates on the people. That's what people around me are saying about. Because every time something happens, you just raise rates. That's the first thing that happens. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Plata. Any other discussion on this? I'm
I'd
sorry.
like to
Go right
ask a
ahead.
question.
You bet.
Part of the reason why we want to increase the rates is to keep a good credit rating, correct?
Correct.
Is there any way of keeping the money, the amount of money that we transfer from the water fund into the general fund, reduce that amount so that our credit rating doesn't change, or will it not affect that?
Well, it won't affect the rates in the sense that you would be looking for to hold residential and commercial rates down, because the bulk of that's paid by the industrial customers by virtue of the nature that we spend most of our time with those contract customers and not with residential and commercial customers. So,
But it will result in more funds available in the water account.
well, no, I don't think it will, because if you reduce that expense, it's the water contract customers will have their rates reduced, and I think you'll see an offset. The council tried that back in.
Well, explain to me, why would the rates be reduced for them?
Okay, because like I say, most of that transfer cost is allocated to them. If you reduce that, you reduce their cost, and under the contract, their rates have got to drop under the terms of the contract. So you're not really gaining anything by doing that.
No, I'm not saying that, Gene. What I'm saying is, how much money do you send from the water fund into the general fund as an expense that the city undertakes to do billing or whatever? What is that amount?
Okay.
Isn't it like $1.8 million?
No, it's about 1.1.
Okay, $1.1 million. If we were to have, instead of $1.8 million, reduce that amount and have $900,000, I'm just using arbitrary numbers, so bear with me. If we were to just have $900,000 in that account, how does it reduce the rates of the consumers,
Okay.
of the commercial consumers? We have not changed anything other than the fact we are not even saying that we are reducing the charges. We are simply leaving money in the water fund.
Okay. Well, the way a water and sewer cost of service study is conducted, if you reduce that, that's an effective reduction of what it costs to operate the fund. And those particular costs, like I say, are allocated toward industrial contract customers. For virtually all of it is allocated that way. Under the terms of the contract, you're going to have to reduce their rates if you have decreased expenses. So their rates are going to go down. You're not going to have net gain any money by doing that.
Okay.
Because they're going to pay in less.
Okay. My next question is, our credit rating, as important as it is, the likelihood of us wanting to go for yet another bond is quite slim. Isn't that correct?
Well, the council does have another $10 million on the last issue.
Yeah.
And if our rating drops down, it will affect that $10 million.
If the rating drops down.
Yes.
We are not anticipating the rating to drop down otherwise.
Well, I
And
think.
even if the rating drops down, it will not affect what is in the account right now. You can sell that $10 million at the current rating and then institute this.
Well, you can't sell the $10 million at the current rating. When that rating when we get ready to issue those bonds, we will get a re-rate. They will come in and look at us right then.
Okay. But supposing tomorrow the council sits down and decides, let's sell that bond. It'll still be sold at the current bond rating, correct?
No, sir.
Okay.
They
It'll
will
be sold
re-rate
at
it.
today's bond, whatever our bond rating right now is.
No, sir. They will come in and do us a new rating based on whatever the circumstances are right now. Now, the point I think that you're missing on that is that if we don't adopt a rate, that maintains our rate maintenance policy and maintains the reserve that we've got to increase because of the debt issue that we did do, that they will downgrade us simply because we're not following our own policy.
I'm still opposed to the thing. That's
So,
what I said.
Gene, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the impact that, while it may be early in the process, the impact that Skinner is going to potentially have for us long-term. Will that affect this?
Well, the current rate study took into account what Skinner's doing currently.
Right.
It didn't take any speculative amount, for what it might do in the future because there's no guarantee of that.
Right.
They did look at their current usage and how that's going. That was one of the considerations
So the
that
only
they
real
have.
way to hold this down is to make sure that we're getting enough industry involvement and usage to
Right.
keep this.
You know, and like I say, one of the advantages of doing this study every year is if the circumstances change, if industry for some reason, let's say they pick up business, they may tend to use the system less efficiently because maybe they're going to have to spike their usage during certain times of the year to meet production. Well, that's going to flip this back the other way, and the next rate study would pick that up, and then we could adjust rates according to that.
Okay. John, is there any leeway on this? I think all of us have a lot of heartburn over any sort of increase, but specifically to this issue, going into the hottest and most used months of the year, is there any, do we have any alternatives?
You have, I guess, 5 options altogether. One, of course, would be approved, one would be denied. And then you could always table and discuss this further. I don't know that you're going to get new information if you choose to do that. And then 2 other kind of middle ground options would be you could approve it, but at a later date. Instead of an effective date immediately, you could make it October the 1st or January the 1st or July the 19th or whatever. Or you could approve it, but at a lower rate. Instead of approving the whole thing, which I understand you being hesitant to do, but not approving anything, which obviously Gene, because it's his job, is very hesitant for you to do.
Sure.
There's the middle ground of either an intermediate date or an intermediate amount. And I'm not recommending those. Those are your 5 options.
Yeah. One other thing I'd like to comment on, of course, I've been here a long time. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, you know, when we were doing studies and we were trying to look at how we could, you know, build our infrastructure and stuff, we were going through a similar, well, actually a worse situation where we were in danger of deficit spending in the water and sewer fund. And we had several rate studies that recommended increases, and those increases were not approved. And at one point, we went from operating in the black in the late 90s to being, let's see, in 2003, $2.6 million in the red. We were actually had overspent the water and sewer, and it was strictly on the basis that there wasn't any other expenses to cut, but we had to keep operating because everybody has to have water, and so we were just operating in the red. And we were getting to the point where we were almost going to have to go to the bank to borrow money to keep operating the fund because we were borrowing basically from the general fund to cover that. And I don't want to see us, from a financial integrity standpoint, go back to that situation where we make rate decisions based on politics, for lack of a better word, as opposed to what the facts are as they're presented in the study. So I would ask the council not to put us back in that kind of financial situation.
Sure. Gene, the Series 2010 and Series 2012 bonds, those were not new money, those were refinancings, right?
We did 2 refundings, yes, sir.
And those, we were able to get lower prices or lower rates on those because of?
Just because the market, number one, because rates in general were down, and also because we were able, because of our credit rating.
Our bond rating.
Yes.
Can I ask?
Sure, absolutely.
If this item was to be tabled, let's say till October, when the summer usage months with higher water usage have gone through, will that make any difference?
I think if you approve the rates with an effective, you know, date October 1, that I don't think that would probably affect us because we're only talking about a few months. But I would.
No, I'm not saying approve it. I'm saying table it till October, see the usage till October, and see if the usage has been more, that the rate that they have provided is not the rate that we will need to go by. We will go by the usage that has happened. Because right now it is based essentially on winter month usage.
Well, they look back 3 years at consumption, okay, when determining what the anticipated consumption is going to be. Because they don't want an extremely hot summer to determine it. They don't want an extremely wet summer to determine it. So they go back 3 years to get a realistic look. And they don't just base it on the most recent month's consumption.
So right now, the rating that you're seeing is really effective from 3 years ago?
No, sir, I'm saying they go back and look at consumption 3 years to see if it's consistent or if it varies.
That's what I'm saying. So the current rating with the new plan that is being brought over is based on water usage from the last 3 years, not last year, not the year before, but for 3
Right,
years.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't think any of us really, like I said, are jumping up and down in excitement about this, but Gene obviously makes some valid points, but then again, you know, we are coming into the hottest months of the year when consumption goes up. I don't know, Ms. Lancaster or Mr. Jenkins or anybody else that feels free to comment, feels about it, but I would feel comfortable approving it, but with a later date so that the citizens can at least have some relief during the summer months when usage is most high. Just a thought, but you know, in the words of compromise, you bet, Ms. Lancaster.
Well, I have a real problem with raising the rates that much. I know the people in my district, doesn't seem like a lot of money, but it is to them. So it's a difficult. They'll need some sort of help.
Right. So would it be beneficial to those in your district if we postpone the actual increase to later in the year?
Well, it certainly wouldn't hurt.
Okay. Mr. Plata?
I've been sitting here contemplating. Can I just say something to
Sure.
Mr. Anderson? Commissioner, I hope you don't take this wrong, and I certainly, I'm just going to have to say it. The last time I was on council, rates went up on something. Here's why I'm hesitant, and another reason why. People, I played tennis with some people, and they asked me about the rates, and I said, well, the city said, they gave us a choice. And then they said, well, we called the city, and they told us that the council did it. So if rates go up and stuff, I would just like you to be honest with the people if they contact you and tell them, and just say that you all had to have this, and you wanted, you advised the council to do it. Don't put the blame on the council.
I don't have any problem with that. I'm here in a public meeting. It'll be in the front page of the paper tomorrow.
That's all I ask.
Any further discussion? Is there action to be taken on this item at this time?
I'll make a motion that we go to these rates effective October 1st. Otherwise, we're going to be here a month from now, or 2 months from now, or 3 months from now. And I've been through these numbers over and over for years.
Okay. Have a motion on the floor from Mr. Pickle. I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the rates at an October 1 date, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Those opposed? Okay. So, yeah, 3-3, no action taken.
No action.
So the motion fails.
Who was the against? Hashmi?
Dr. Hashmi, Ms. Lancaster, and Mr. Plata.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with that,
You can
take,
if
no, at this
anybody
point we
else
have
has
to
another
have
motion,
something
you can do
else.
that.
I'd
Sure.
like to make a motion.
Sure.
I'd like to table this motion and bring the thing back again in the month of October and reassess the situation at that point. But Mr. Jean wants to say something, so let's hear what he has to say.
We could update the numbers in October, but you'd almost have to do kind of a study again and crunch all the numbers again.
And that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
It may be a pain, but I mean...
Well, you're going to have to pay for it because they won't do it for free.
Yeah, Gene, I do have a question about that. That's done by an outside firm.
Yes.
At approximately what cost?
This study's going to cost us about $25,000.
Oh.
But we don't pay for it, right?
Parts, or the bulk of it, we're able to pass on to the contract customers. But they're not going to pay for a second one, I don't think.
You don't think, or you know?
I don't know, but if I were them, I would certainly object to having to pay for a second study when the first study, there wasn't anything wrong with it.
But Gene, don't you think that's a little unfair objection, because there, as it is getting lower rates, and I'm not trying to be against them by any means, but what I'm saying is that the residents of this community have to suffer because of that. That doesn't sound too correct to me. Just my thought.
But if they're using 36 months worth of data now, the increment of 3 months, how much
I don't think
variance
it'll
is
make
that
any
really going to?
difference.
Yeah, because we're talking about the summer months over a trend. And
All right,
I just
well
wonder.
then I'll take my motion back.
Okay. Is there another motion on this item?
I mean, if there had been anything we could have done to prevent it, I wouldn't want to be up here and take the grilling. You know, I just think it'd be like the last.
If you think this was grilling.
Well, you're on that side of the deal. But we haven't had a water increase since 2011, you know, so we don't just automatically increase it. We only do it when it's absolutely necessary.
Well, I'm not making another motion, so.
Okay.
Can I make a motion and just bring it back up like in September? We can bring it back up September, and I know the numbers won't change and stuff, but we'll get past the hot months and stuff at that, and so.
If I could suggest it at this point, especially with the 3-3 on the original motion, we can make this part of the budget process. You know, you have a work session to start that process just next Monday night. That would be consistent with what you're saying. We can talk about this in August and September and bring it back up and take action then. Maybe it doesn't change, maybe your options don't get any better or any different, but it's not going to hurt anything to wait 2 months by any means, or 2.5 months in this case. So I think that's fine to do so. And I'm not making that recommendation, but I certainly don't know what Gene's looking at me right now, but you know, this is a big deal, and we get that. And we can blame it on Gene and the numbers, but in real life, you guys are going to get the nasty phone calls, and we get that. And it's a difficult
not a question
situation.
of nasty phone calls.
I know, but I'm just saying, I don't want to pressure y'all into doing something. It's a sizable increase, and it can wait 2 months, it can wait 3 months. I think make it part of the budget process. That way you can look at, like, for example, you're talking about moving money from this fund to another fund. Well, you can do some of that stuff, but then I'm over here cringing going,
well, I'm not asking you to move money from one fund to another, because that would not be the right thing to do.
Right.
I'm just saying reducing the charges that the general fund charges the water fund, if that will make any difference. Right. Because I understand and I respect Gene a lot, because I think he is far better than all of us combined with numbers. I respect that. But I'd still like to get a better understanding of how he was describing that the rate of the other customers will go down. It's not very clear to me.
Yeah, and it's a unique situation that we have here. I can tell you, I've never dealt with rates the way they're done here, but we have a lot of really large wholesale customers, and that does make a big difference. There's good and bad to that.
Yeah, and we don't want them to suffer either.
Yeah. So by way of moving this forward, I think wait until September, making it part of the budget process. So, you brought up some of those issues anyway. I think that makes sense to me at this point.
So Mr. Plata has a motion on the floor to table it until September?
Exactly.
Okay. Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Second on the floor, okay. Second by Dr. Hashmi. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Thank you, Gene.
Sorry, Gene.
Me too, Gene, I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Okay, item number 14.
To discuss and appoint one council member to serve on the Chamber's Covered Arena Committee.
Mr. Gilman, give
this
some background.
Is an extremely controversial issue here, so hopefully we won't spend too much time on this. I'm being sarcastic. The Chamber of Commerce is looking into long-term the possibility of a covered arena. And this is very early on, so I couldn't tell you what kind of covered arena, because that's part of what they want to look at. Does it make sense to have a covered arena here that you could do different types of special events? Location might be here, might be there. Again, that's part of the process of looking at it. So this is very, very preliminary. And they're putting together a committee of people just to do some investigation and some asking, some looking, some studying. And they've asked that a council member be on that committee to give city input.
Okay. Any discussion from the council or nominations?
Or volunteers.
Volunteers, even better.
I've done it before. I've been involved with building one of these, and
Okay.
since I'm on the, whatever that thing was, held me to earlier.
Visitors Convention Council.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Pickle?
Are you nominating yourself?
I'll
Yeah,
do it.
he volunteered.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
There you go. Even better. Okay, item 15.
Appoint city council liaison to serve on the various boards, commissions, and committees.
Okay. Everyone's favorite time when we go back through the committees and get to volunteer. Ms. Lancaster.
I'd like to stay on building and standards and planning and zoning.
Building and standards and planning and zoning. Okay. Standards, planning and zoning. Okay. Let's start at the beginning.
Building and standards and what, I'm sorry?
Planning and zoning.
Planning and zoning.
Okay.
Okay. Any volunteers for the Airport Advisory Board?
That's a good question.
Sure.
There's actually 2 boards right now with the airport.
With the Development Board?
Right.
Okay.
I'd like to stay on the development if I could, since I started.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. And for the Advisory Board, I'll volunteer for that one. Okay. It won't happen every time, though, so don't look down. Okay. Just going down the row on the spreadsheet that I have in front of me. So for the PEDC, we have had 2 for the past year. Prior to that, it was just 1. Any volunteers for PEDC liaison?
I'd like to be on that.
Edwin? Okay. Historic Preservation, I've served on that previously. I don't know. I'll volunteer again if that's all right. The Main Street Board.
Do they meet during the day?
I believe, does Main Street meet at noon? Is that right? I know HPC does.
They meet at like 4.
Or they meet at 4 o'clock.
Meeting at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. 3rd Tuesday?
I'll volunteer.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Plata. Okay. Ms. Lancaster, volunteer for planning and zoning.
I'm on 3.
You're up to 3, okay. For the library board. Not everyone at once.
I'll volunteer.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Hashmi. Traffic Commission. Mr. Jenkins, are you volunteering?
Yeah, I've been on.
Oh, good. I didn't want to volunteer you, so that's good.
At 5:30, right?
Yes.
5:15.
Yes.
5:30,
at the police station. Right?
5:15.
And I'm sure the answer is yes. Have I missed some?
The band commission.
Oh, we did miss the band commission. Okay. Sorry about that. From Municipal Band Commission. Takers? Anyone?
I'm down.
All right. All right, so that's everyone. Okay.
What about the housing authority?
Anyone?
I thought they already picked somebody for that.
Okay. For the Housing Authority,
Maybe not.
anyone want to jump out
Housing
there? Is it?
Housing Authority, does it?
Is
it
that?
doesn't-
I don't think that.
I don't think we have that.
Meets 12:30.
Yeah, but I don't think that's.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, that's not an
a liaison.
advisory.
Sorry.
The mayor
Yeah.
himself is
Yeah. On that one.
generally the person on that.
Oh,
one.
good.
Okay.
Your building standards.
So.
Oh, you.
Okay. That's civil service, but that's not it. And Board of Adjustment, that's
I'll volunteer for that if you
you're gonna-
need it, but I don't think.
I don't
there's
think so
I don't
either,
think you've done it
so.
in the past. Although it's not on your list, the Chamber of Commerce has requested that you appoint an ex officio member to the Chamber Board as well as the Love Center Board, and that sometimes has in the past been the mayor. I don't know if that's an automatic thing, that's the mayor or not. so-
I'm already
Okay.
on the chamber board.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Love Center Board as well as the mayor, or do y'all want to nominate, put somebody on there for that? Again, that's an ex officio member, not an advisory member,
Right.
but.
Well, if I'm going to be on the V and C and C, all
Yeah,
that,
but
part of the civic center.
Those are two separate boards.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, that's good.
but you can do them both. Or, Dr. Grossnickel's not here, you might want to put him on something. while
Well,
he's
that's
gone.
true.
While he's on vacation.
Forgot about
how do we leave
No,
him out?
I like the language.
drafting.
All right, we'll ask Dr. Grossnickel to be on the Civic Center board. Lucky guy.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Spread it out.
Okay. All right, does that complete the process there? All the notes? We went through those kind of quick. I didn't,
Not the main.
are you okay down there?
Who's on the Main Street?
Main Street, that was Mr. Fly, I believe.
No, I believe
And the band, who decided on
get those houses
Pick
down.
one.
Yes.
Me too.
Too many of them.
There's one I had a problem with last.
Okay, with that, I guess we move to item 16.
So many of them.
Discuss the recycling program and provide direction to staff.
Mr. Godwin, you want to introduce this?
Sure. Very quickly, go ahead. Ed Wayne Samus is our sanitation superintendent, sanitation and traffic. He visited with you several weeks ago. Based on that feedback, he has some much more specific information as far as the types of containers, the cost, and also some recommendations. So, Mr. Samus?
I believe everyone has received a packet, and I first of all just want to see if anyone had any questions regarding that. And there were some questions that was asked at the last meeting, and I tried to put it in there and answer some of those questions.
And get a little closer to your microphone.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Any questions from the council at this moment, or continue on?
Okay. Basically, in your package, we talked about cost. There was a question about cost and so forth. And looking back on what we previously discussed concerning this, there's not a lot has changed. I still feel that the direction, if it's being that with the council, is to start real conservative. Be cautious about your approach into recycling, because as I said before, it is a hit or miss. Participation is a big key when trying to recycle. You have to start with certain programs and get with certain agencies and groups and so forth, and get them involved as well. A lot of times recycling isn't just one component being the city by itself. It takes the individuals of the city to participate. But Mr. Hoshmi, I believe it was, or you suggested looking into the compactors and so forth, and I did that, and I came up with currently Fort Worth, Texas is using these type of containers and so forth, along with our suggestions of where to place them. We considered purchasing 5 of them, about $3,300 a piece and so forth. And if you look at a broader availability for recycling, we looked at it's called a roll-off container. It's sectioned off in the container itself, to dispose of different items and so forth. I don't know if y'all have your packet with you, but it has the pricing in there and so forth. The items that would be recycled would be the cardboard and paper, plastics, the plastic bags, and the plastic bottles, number 1s and 2s, and so forth. And the locations that we still would like to consider is some of the higher use parts, such as Wade Park and Leon Williams, Oak Park, the library, and right now I'm still working on the downtown plaza area, but I think that would be a big benefit for the city itself to have one down there. These locations, currently we have a contract with Waste Management. I spoke with them regarding this matter, and we'll just say they're on board. I don't want to speak too much for Josh, but we have a community drop-off center. It's at 150 West Evergreen, and they do recycling, and I would say in the last 3 years since we had this contract with them, they've only probably pulled out about, I would say, 120 cubic yards of recycling. That's not very much at all. The other facilities would be the compost side and the Public Works Department. That would, allow more areas for people to bring, the larger amounts instead of just going to a park and dispose of, bottles and so forth. But honestly, that's pretty much it. In your packets, I gave you some pictures and some specs on some of these containers.
I didn't see a cost.
I'm sorry, sir?
I never saw a cost.
Okay.
Are these things pretty expensive at the first?
Yes, sir. I have a picture if you don't have one.
This is the picture of those.
Yeah.
This is about 32.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Fraxton, can I address?
You bet.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
If I can ask one of the people who is sitting here, Ms. Spencer, did you write me an email about when we were discussing this? Can you just remind me, you had written about a city which is close by where recycling was done, and you had suggested to visit that individual. If I could ask you to please just repeat what you had said.
Okay, it's the Choctaw Nation in like the southeast quarter of Oklahoma. They have a volunteer recycle program where they have a, they called it a roll-off. It's one of the big, like a truck bed. And they have it at their buildings, the different buildings they have. And the people just voluntarily go by and put their recyclable materials in there. When it gets full, they take it to Durant. And there is an online story about this. In the month of January, they recycle 5 million pounds. And I talked to the lady in Durant. She gave me a quote. I believe it was 24 cents a pound. She receives bids once a month from 10 vendors, and their bid includes pickup. They have a large building where they sort and compact this material.
Okay.
And then the vendors pick it up.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sanders, have we looked at that?
Yes, sir. Yes, I have.
And have we studied, how come they're doing so well, is what I'm trying to get at.
They're established.
Okay.
And we're just starting out.
Have we discussed with them as to, can we get help from them? Do they have a similar system that we are planning? Is it a different system, or I'm still not getting a full hang of it?
With Choctaw Nation? Or
yes.
Choctaw Nation, they're a bit different, I'll say. Like I said, they are established. The item that she's talking about is, like I said, is a roll-off container. It's called a compartmentalized roll-off container, and has 3 sections in there, and the people just bring in their recyclables.
And that's what you're proposing, isn't it? Aren't you proposing?
Okay, that's what I was trying to get at.
Yes.
Is what you're suggesting, is that what they're doing too?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's the cost of it is, right now the price I have is anywhere from $400 to $700. That's to dispose of it. Now, again, when you want to talk about commodities and selling of it and so forth, we have to, you might want to wait to see where we're at as far as participation rate.
No, because what I was thinking was, can we actually make money on it?
Yes, you can.
And that's what I'm saying. So some of these costs really are not actual costs because they will be offset by what we sell. Eventually.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
at the same time, but initially what would happen first is the landfill material would be, it would shift to recycling cost. If instead of taking, say, 2 trash trucks to the landfill, if you get a lot of people recycling 20 yards, you got one less truck going.
Okay.
Right.
So in real terms, what is the actual expense or saving is what I'm trying to get at least to begin with.
To begin with?
Because, I mean, I read all of what you'd written, but
Okay.
I'm still not clear in my mind.
If to begin with, say, first 12 months.
Yes,
you're looking at
let's say start with that. What happens
You're looking
then?
at $7,200 in the roll-off container rental fee, okay? I cannot stand here and tell you how many times that roll-off will be
Filled.
hauled off. I just can't. So
That's fine, but it's the minimum is $7,200 a month.
that's for the container. Now, for the
month
trash
or a year?
cans, that's a year.
A year.
Okay,
Yes.
7,200 per year. What other running costs per month will it be?
The one-time cost of the 5 trash can units that you asked about, that's about $1,600.
Okay, so that's 7,000 plus 1,600.
Don't you mean 16,000?
16,000, I'm sorry.
Okay, 16,000,
For the container.
225. Okay, so that's $23,000 for a full year.
Mhm.
About $2,000 a month. What else?
That should be it. All the other logistics as far as, retrieving from the parks and so forth, that can be done internally.
And if you count it as one container filling up, how many truckloads are reduced? One truckload is reduced per month to the landfill?
If we rent a 20-yard recycle unit container, that'd be one truck that has to go to the landfill.
And how much saving does that give us?
That's about $113, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so in other words, we are talking about $1,800 a month of expense to begin with, till such time that we get to a point of selling the stuff that can be recycled.
Yes.
And do you think it'll take us a full 1 year to wait? Or do you think it'll happen before? I mean, obviously there are some unpredictable numbers here.
Yes.
But the thing is, at some point we need to think about selling it rather than dumping it. And so if well, I suppose it's arbitrary to ask. I don't think that's an answerable question. So it's $1,800 a month to begin with to see what happens.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay. My personal suggestion would be that if it's $1,800 a month to begin with, and we might recover something from it at some point, it's not a prohibitive expense. But that's just my thought.
I'd like to add also, in this recycling program of these paper and cardboard and plastic, I'd like to revive the old program we used to have, which was we used to pick up metal, washers and dryers and deep freezers and so forth. And we also used to take oil, used oil. Years ago, we used to have to pay for it. Now, this stuff we can sell,
Yeah. And besides the fact that it's $1,800 for some degree of environmental safety as well. So
Exactly.
I don't
Yes.
consider that as a huge amount of money, but again, I mean, for a city.
Yes, sir.
I would, if truly that is what the cost is, and I want to be 100% sure that that is what the cost is, that there's no other unforeseen or unknown cost that will suddenly descend after we start. I think it's worth trying at least for 6 months to see what happens. Worst case scenario is it doesn't work and stop it. I mean, it doesn't say that you have to do it for the whole year. It's not my phone. It's somebody else's.
Mr. Platter? Yes.
No, I don't think it's me.
Yes, sir.
So,
Whoever's it.
the way, let me make sure that this is right. You're gonna put some units in the parks and have a unit over here so people can go dump,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir. There will be 3 of them, the large ones.
All right, so it's gonna be up to the people to go do that themselves.
Exactly.
because my son lives in Carrollton, and they recycle, and they have. That's what I was going to ask you, because they have 2 trash cans. That, they have to separate everything themselves, but this is not going to be like that right now.
No, sir.
All right.
But you can get to it.
You
if you
can
get to
get to
it that good in recycling.
I understand. Okay.
I've always used the term, and I don't mean to get off subject, but I say in order to go green, you got to have green. So and basically that's what recycling is.
It's the city manager's phone.
No.
It's
the city attorney's problem.
So those 2 units that you sit out here at the recycling station right now, people can go free, dump there free.
Yes.
So what was the first year like for the cities that you studied? I mean, or that you talked to?
Well, I'll be honest, Mr. Firestone. There is a city right now that I'm aware of. I won't mention any names. They've been recycling for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Their recycling participation is 30%. And it just depends on the outreach of
Well,
the
you can
community.
tell us the name of the city. It doesn't.
Well, I got a boss that's here that's from there, so.
And they make money off of it?
No, actually, the company, they come in, they pick it up curbside. It's probably running them, I'd say $340,000 a year to recycle from curbside.
They're paying that then?
Yes, sir.
How are they paying for it?
The city of
I mean, is the city paying for it, or is it added
Yes,
onto your water, or
the city's, well, it is added to the water
bills?
or some
Or the
sort.
sanitation bills?
Yes.
So, I mean, I think it's obviously an issue of, it's going to be slow going in the beginning, that there are going to be the barriers to entry cost, and then the education of the community and all that. But I mean, after that first year, have they seen?
After the first year, I'd say we can come back and look at these numbers and see where we're at.
Well, I mean, it's obviously a wonderful initiative. I mean, that's something we should all be concerned about, in my opinion. But
I'll make a motion on this if it's a motionable item, or if it's a direction. I don't know how you want to do.
It's to provide direction to staff.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly make a motion to give us direction to proceed, which is.
So I would like to give them, I'll then make a motion to give directions to start with 6 months of trial to see what happens. If these, I'd be very sure that these numbers are accurate, though. Without that, no.
Right, so are we going to ask for them to come back with a formal proposal?
With a formal proposal that what does it exactly cost? Because I understand these numbers, they're just not, I want them written.
Sure, I understand.
Line by line, that this is what it's going to cost.
So does that?
You're supposed to make money off of garbage. You're not supposed to pay anybody to take your raw materials away. Paper is a commodity that's sold by the ton for recycling. Cans are sold by the ton for recycling.
Sir.
These are commodities.
Understand and appreciate your involvement in the situation. Totally. I think at this point, we just need to provide direction to staff to come back with a proper and formal proposal of the cost benefit.
I would like to see some other cities in our area and how they've done it.
Okay. I'll be honest.
I don't know the one city or 20 cities or whatever.
I think there's about 11 of them that's comparable to us.
So we want to see a formal proposal with a cost benefit analysis of as much as possible.
If I can address one thing, we understand your concern. I think the concern is genuine, but nobody plans to add anything to the bill right now. The city should make money on it. 100% agree with you.
And they should provide the company should be providing the container.
We are just trying to crawl before we walk and run. So.
Sure. Okay. Good.
Thank you, sir.
Good. Thank you. Okay. Item number 17.
Is to discuss and take action on a resolution opposing new expansive rules proposed by the United States Environmental Protection Agency and the United States Army Corps of Engineers.
This is the item Mr. Neighbors addressed to you at the last council meeting. We've also received some correspondence from various folks over the last several weeks, and it tends to be a bit more of a rural issue, or people think it is, and that's why in this case it came from the Farm Bureau, because it has to do with expanding the rules or expanding the authority under the rules for the EPA and also for the Corps. That's always a potentially scary thing, certainly for farmers and ranchers who depend on water. But because we also operate a water system, a wastewater system, and a stormwater system, there's always the potential for it to have a negative impact on cities as well. And so that's why Mr. Neighbors has asked you to approve a resolution opposing the expansion of those rules. And I don't have a strong opinion, but from what I do know, which is still fairly limited, I do think it makes sense, and I certainly don't see that it does any harm.
And from the limited research that I've done on this, I agree with Mr. Godwin that there's, I would be okay with.
If it's a motion item, I'll make that
All right,
motion.
have a motion. Dr. Hashmi, a second from Ms. Lancaster. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion passes. All right, item number 18.
Discuss and take action on assignment pay for certain firefighters who have assumed additional duties and training.
And let me go first. Chief's here to make some additional comments and answer questions that you may have. But we have about 15 firefighters who over the last many months have assumed additional duties voluntarily. They're doing additional work, assume additional training and responsibility. And of course, part of the reason that you saw the equipment outside, and I'll ask the Chief to talk about that and who paid for that equipment, how we came by that. But one of the things that Chief Wright wanted to do when he came here was to expand some of our responsibilities, our ability to respond to certain types of things. And that includes the dive team and the hazmat team. And so we've got people, frankly, bottom line, who have been doing extra work without being compensated for it for about 6 or 8 months. And we're recommending that we change that we give them that additional pay, which is $37.50 per pay period if you're on one of those two groups, and then $25 for the second one. That's consistent with extra pay that we provide a lot of folks for certifications and additional duties in other departments, whether it be the courts or utilities or water and sewer and so forth and so on. So consistent with that, and again, we recommend, and Chief, maybe give us a little summary on where we are on those two teams and what they do and how we came by this equipment.
Sure. Excuse me, hopefully y'all looked at the boat that we had outside when y'all first got here. That was purchased through a grant from the Council of Governments. It's Homeland Security money. In the last year, I've been able to secure approximately $100,000 in grant money from the COG to outfit this dive team and enhance our hazmat team. Basically, it's come out of necessity. Since we're kind of out in the far northeast, we're really at a distance from any viable teams of this nature. And with the industry we've got in town, the large bulk amounts of ammonia that some of the companies have, it's almost imperative that we have a viable hazmat team. And we also see a need for a dive team for this region. We've already had one incident this spring where we had to do a recovery. So that being said, I presented that to the COG, and they have furnished us monies to make these things work. The increased requirements, like the city manager said, requires these firefighters on these teams to go way above and beyond what's required for the normal firefighter. We send them to training. I've already had 9 go to Anniston, Alabama for advanced hazmat training. So they're having to spend a lot of their own time. And as in most departments, when they have certification to go way above and beyond the normal job, we try to give them some kind of compensation for the time that they spend to keep their assignments up to date. The key is they've got to be current with their assignment. They can't, in other words, they have to be a viable member of the team. At any point that they don't become, they're not a viable member of the team, or they choose to get off the team, their assignment pay goes away. This is not something that's automatic to them. They have to earn it. And so with that, I'll answer any questions y'all have.
Okay. Open it up for discussion. Anyone on the council have questions of the chief?
Just, you said that you had to use the dive team or the hazmat team once already?
Dive team.
Dive team?
Mm-hmm.
Dive team. Oh.
Chief, I have some questions.
Sure.
Okay. First of all, thank you for your services. I think the fire department has improved a lot, and I think your firefighters like you a lot, and they're very encouraged by your your captaincy, if that, or leadership, the right word. Having said that, I do have some questions. The first question is, does the rescue squad also get extra money for doing that?
No, sir, that's part of their normal firefighting functions.
Okay, so the rescue squad is not part of that?
No, sir.
Okay. I think it was great to get the dive team, but what I'd like to know is, when these people went for training, you said that it was on their own and they paid for it, and that was on their own time, or was it on city time?
No, it's on city time. They're on the clock when they go to this training.
Okay.
And the fire department pays for it.
All right. And so my next question to you is, most of the time, to my understanding, would be that, and I'm not opposed to the dive team, so don't take me wrong, but this is a question, that dive team is mostly involved if somebody is already drowned, obviously.
Yes, sir. It serves two purposes. One, obviously for body recovery if there's a drowning, and also forensic recovery of whatever stuff's on the floor of the lake.
Okay.
Could be a car, could be a gun.
Are there dive teams available in Dallas?
Dallas Police Department has a dive team. The next most formal dive team is Denison, and they just started within the last 2 months.
If we were to have an issue with it, since the person's already drowned, it's not a saving thing anymore, would it be, I don't mean to sound bad, I mean, it's just factual information, so if you were to just ask the Dallas team to come, would it save us money that?
Well, if they're available, yes, it would save us money, but also you've got a time factor in there that you've got to take into factors of the grieving family and the situation, recovery, and when you start trying to get a dive team in here from another city, it could be hours, it could be up to 24 hours before they can assemble and come to the area. Parks and Wildlife has a dive team, but all their equipment's in Austin. They have certified divers in the area, but in order to get a dive team from Parks and Wildlife, they have to respond from Austin. And so again, we've got the dive team up and running, and basically they're already trained. It's going to be a maintenance issue from this point forward, and that's what we're trying to compensate for.
And the next question is, are most of the dive teams included from firefighters? Why can't EMTs be, if they wanted to opt for the training, particularly since the city is going to pay for it, why could the EMTs not be part of it if they wanted to be? Or for that matter, Public Works or anyone who wants to be on a dive team, since they will get an extra salary and they will get free training from the city?
Well, they could. No question they could. The problem is we've got a limited number of spots that we can. I mean, we can't have everybody applying and being a diver. Right now, we're full, and it's kind of a self-contained organization within the fire department.
But why can't it be open next time when there's a vacancy? Can it be open to whosoever in the city works and wants to be on the dive team? Because it will give them an edge over some finances, correct?
It could. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I ask one more question from Mr. Fuston now? Sure. Mr. Fuston, can you you've been a fire chief before. Did you have a dive team, or did you have a hazmat team, or?
I've been gone a long time. The hazmat was just coming in when I was retiring. There was some hazmat teams being set up, but our heavy-duty rescue squads had been doing dive for some time, and they selected certain ones to put the equipment on and train, and they were just part of the regular rescue squad duties.
And was your rescue squad paid for extra duties?
No, that was just part of their duties. The rescue squad, they were, they were fully staffed, and there were firefighters waiting to get in to the rescue squad. It's just something they want to do.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
Mr. Wright, I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Anyone else on the council have questions this time? The chief?
Now, we're just getting this dive team back. Did we not have a dive team 10 years ago, or at some point?
We did, and fortunately, we still had a lot of the equipment. We had to upgrade it and all that.
The only history I know is what I hear from the firefighters, and the former chief decided it wasn't cost effective, and he was trying to cut the budget, and so he just shut it down. And we still had the equipment. So basically, when I got here and saw the circumstances and talked to the city manager, I said, it's a no-brainer. You know, we'll just put it back into service. And we already had many of the former divers trained already. All they had to do is go through some refresher training. So,
Any other questions? Or-
I was on council whenever it got started, stuff, but it came to me. I kind of inclined to agree with some of what Dr. Hashmi said, and then it began to be once they got started. Then they had to have this. Then they had to have that. And it's just an increase to the budget. That's all I saw it was. But maybe you can control it.
I think I can keep it under control. The COG has been very, very generous to us in the last year and a half as far as funds to outfit these two groups. And once we get the equipment in place, the only expense we'll have is just maintenance. You know, hydrostatic testing of the cylinders. We'll have to replace the level A suits in the hazmat unit every several years, and hopefully I can continue to go back to COG and get money for that.
Can we also, for lack of a better term, sub ourselves out to nearby communities? We have made ourselves available to the whole Northeast Texas area. And if we respond on a hazmat incident, we'll recoup the expenses from that. Dive, I'm not too sure, but we're not talking about a large frequency. Right. Hazmat would probably be more likely than dive. And the perpetrator of the hazmat spill is the one that we would go after for the refund.
I have one more question.
Sure, Dr.
We have basically one large lake which is in the county. Does the county pay for any of this?
No.
Will they be willing to share some cost of it?
I haven't even asked
because
them.
It's really not it's not in the city limits, correct?
I'm not sure. Is Lake Crook in the city limits?
No, Lake Crook is, but the lake which is used is mostly Pat Mays.
Pat Mays.
And I think the recovery that you're talking about was at Pat Mays Lake, correct?
Well, we're talking about any lake in the northeast Texas.
No, I realize, but the one incident where you did recover.
No, it wasn't.
Which lake was it at?
It wasn't a lake.
Oh, okay. There was a drowning at the lake, though, Lake Pat Mays, wasn't there? Okay, I wasn't sure.
There was a drowning at the lake. It was handled by us, but it was a grapple. We didn't have the ability to go into the water and recover the body.
Any further discussion? If there's none, is there a motion on this item?
I'll make the motion. I hate to spend the money, but if it was a family member, it wouldn't be enough.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thanks, Chief. Item number 19.
Discuss and take action on a council policy regarding proclamations.
Very quickly, just to emphasize again that the issuance of proclamations is very common throughout cities in Texas and other states. It's almost always the purview of the mayor. He or she has the authority, the ability to issue proclamations in meetings, outside of meetings, at special events. That's not uncommon, it's not unusual, and this policy here is very consistent with what we've done for the 2 years I've been here, and I believe for many years before that. So this isn't anything new, this is just kind of putting down what we're already doing. This isn't trying to correct anything or fix anything or identifying that there was a problem, and I just want to clarify that. What's been going on is certainly permissible and okay. What we want to do is kind of clarify a few things. One of those is and I've got a list and kind of these just random things as well as borrowing from some other cities. A lot of cities have policies on these things. Why you can do one or why you can't do one. For example, one of the sources you get for proclamations is birthdays. You know, my Aunt Susie's going to turn 100 tomorrow, or she's going to turn 85 tomorrow, and so this sets a rule that she needs to be 100. If she's just 77, for example, that's not old enough to get a proclamation. So it gives the mayor the ability to tell somebody no without making them mad. If it's if it's a business, gee, we're having our 10th anniversary, Mayor Johnson, can you give us a proclamation? Well, 10 years isn't really enough. It needs to be 35 or 50. So kind of giving the mayor some outs, so to speak, to politely tell people, well, gee, there's a policy that I can't just say no to every single thing there is. And so things like that. And there's some numbers in there, and they're just random numbers. If you want to change that to some other numbers, obviously you could do that. And then things that, you don't do, controversial issues, political issues, those kinds of things that'll make you mad. Give you the ability, if the American Nazi Party shows up, you want to be able to tell them no, and you want to be able to pull up a policy and say, you're a controversial group, so I'm not going to give you a policy. I think most everybody other than members of that party would agree that they would be a controversial group, that you wouldn't want to be doing that. So you've got something in writing that you can tell them no. The second part of this is the procedure, and that is people need to request it ahead of time. That can be a problem. The typical process here is, like it is in most places, more often than not, they'll contact the city secretary or city clerk, as it's called in Paris, and he or she will put something together, and a lot of times it's at the very last minute. This provides for a 2-week process that you can plan for it, prepare for it. Especially a lot of proclamations are issued at public events. I did one for the emergency workers, whatever it was, out at the Love Center about a month ago. That I think Mayor Hoshby had signed, so they wanted it actually at the event, so I presented it on the mayor's behalf at that event. And so you get those kind of things. So they can say, yeah, I don't need to come down to the council meeting, just send it to me, or can you show up at the ribbon cutting, or can you show up at, Nana's 100th birthday party even, for example. And if the mayor's not available, the mayor pro tem goes, or if the mayor pro tem's not available, maybe you make the city manager, or the city manager gets to go in his or her place. And so there's just those kinds of things, and I'm beating this to death now, but not a big deal. And then distribution, again, I guess that's the part I just talked about, was do you want it mailed to you? Do you want it given at a council meeting for a photo op? Or do you just want it, do you want somebody to show up at a special event? Again, this is pretty much what we're already doing. This just codifies what we've been doing for years.
Personally, I think this would be very useful. I actually had someone call on very short notice, wanting a proclamation for, within a 48-hour period. And, what do? You don't, it can be a great cause, but, you kind of need some parameters to operate under. And then you have people like Edwin that might apply for an A&M proclamation saying this is SEC country, but, and then you turn the Longhorns and Aggies on each other, and who knows where that stops. So any discussion amongst the council? No? Is there a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion. We adopt this.
Got a motion to accept the policy. Is there a second?
I'll say.
Okay. Second from Mr. Plata. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Okay. And that brings us to item number, excuse me, is it you? Okay. Item number 20.
Pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney to receive legal advice from the city attorney about pending or contemplated litigation and/or on matters in which the duty of an attorney to his client under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflict with this chapter as follows. Forensic investigation of PEDC and Deffenbaugh and Associates contract.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
I want the city attorney to clarify, is this perfectly legal to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I wouldn't put it on there otherwise. Okay, so the time is now 7:24 and we'll convene into executive session. Okay, the time is 7:36 and we'll come back into open session. Misplaced my agenda, there it is. With that, we go to item 21, which is reconvene an open session and possibly take action on those matters discussed in executive session. I'd like to start this, if you don't mind. I have a statement and would like to make sure that this is something that I'm able to say with a degree of confidence, and I'd like to say it to all the council members and the public as a whole. I'll try not to read it. I did write it down because, public speaking is an interesting thing and you need to write down your thoughts. But first, let me say, as I believe we all do, I and the council want a resolution to the situation we find ourselves in with the investigation ongoing with PEDC. There's been a lot of innuendo and worrisome commentary from many different aspects. And as a city council, we have a responsibility to breed the trust within all aspects of our community. I did not want to bring this statement to the public until we met in executive session to remind us all of our responsibility to our constituents and maintain dignity and resolution to our task here. But now is the time that I hope to share with you some of the insight into the investigation currently going on with the PEDC. It is true that Dr. Gross-Nickel, Mr. McKillier, Mr. Godwin, and myself spoke with Mr. Deffenbaugh recently. And what I'd like to say to you now is the context of events leading up to that call and the details of the call itself. After all, I still maintain that whether or not the investigation should have happened to begin with is irrelevant. It is ongoing and we need to resolve it. What I truly don't want is for this process to be any more of a circus than it's already been to this point. After Ms. Clifford's presentations, there were several areas that I didn't feel satisfied with. Specifically, the amount of money being paid with no promise of a written report and no real identification of how the process was taking shape. After the meeting, a special meeting of the PEDC was called with the edict to be that Mr. Deffenbaugh was to release his findings to the board, press, and public at the same time. This is after it was reported that no written reports existed. With that in mind, I took the step of initiating a conference call between the city attorney, myself, and Ms. Clifford. Unfortunately, according to the city attorney, Ms. Clifford declined to accept that phone call. From there, in my mind, due to time constraints, there was no choice but to call a special meeting of the city council to discuss the ongoing process. However, prior to that, I decided that the mayor pro tem, myself, the city manager, and city attorney contact Mr. Deffenbaugh and see what information he could share with us to determine whether or not the special meeting on the 12th needed to proceed. I don't want to make any mistakes about these comments. As I said, as is the rest of the council, my only concern is a resolution in this matter. In no way, shape, or form was any of the conversation about shutting down an investigation or stopping any work undertaken by Deffenbaugh and Associates. The conversation centered around the areas that were left unresolved by the presentation of the city council. Here are some of the findings of that conversation, and I'll try to be as quick as I can, as I know we all have lives, but I feel like this is a very important matter. Number one, when asked by the city council about the initial visit to Paris in March by Mr. Deffenbaugh and his staff, which took place prior to the contract being approved, Mrs. Clifford stated that she was aware of the charge and had inquired about it. However, when she asked about the charge, she said that it was given a reduced rate and let it go. Mr. Deffenbaugh, however, said that when he was invited to Paris, he was told that the charges would be, quote, taken care of. Number two, when asked about those in attendance at the initial meeting, Mrs. Clifford said that no one else from her board was in attendance. She also admittedly said that the meeting was held at Dr. Hashmi's office with both she and Dr. Hashmi in attendance. Mr. Deffenbaugh confirmed this. However, he also noted that there was one other in attendance, and that was Mr. Bill Strathern. Mr. Strathern is not a member of the City Council, the PEDC, or for that matter, a resident of the City of Paris. Mr. Strathern has not been was not identified as any member of an applicable board or constituency. Mrs. Clifford, number three, Mrs. Clifford identified herself and Shannon Barentine as those in contact with Deffenbaugh and Associates. She did not identify anyone further. Mr. Deffenbaugh was asked the same question, and he added that Mr. Strathern was also involved in supplying the information, to the point that Mr. Strathern physically took documents to Mr. Deffenbaugh's Dallas office. Number four, Mr. Deffenbaugh was asked again where his information came from. He indicated that there were 900 plus emails and documents that were sent to his firm. He was asked, as was Mrs. Clifford, what individual parties he spoke with that might be a target of this investigation, whether it be former PEDC administration, representatives from HWH, etc. He said that he had spoken with no one other than those previously mentioned. Number 5, the council was told that there was no written report available, despite the contractual language stating that this was to be expected within 30 days of the contract's inception, in addition to the weekly oral reports, which again were supplied only to the board chair. The council was told the documents had been turned over to the FBI and no further comment was given. However, when Mr. Deffenbaugh was asked about the lack of written report in accordance with the contract, he said he was instructed by Ms. Clifford not to produce a written report. It was this facet that led to the special meeting being canceled. This is a matter best discussed in public. Number 6, the timelines were asked of Mr. Deffenbaugh included when could a decision come from the FBI, and he indicated multiple weeks, and when a final report from his firm could be expected. He said that he had not prepared a final report, that their preliminary reports were available in rough form only at this time. All that being said, I don't see any of these things to stop the process. In fact, far from it. At this point, I would ask Mr. McKillier to give the public an update on the indication he received from Mr. Deffenbaugh regarding any FBI investigation at this time. So, Kent, if you could go ahead and give us an update with that regard as much as you can.
On or about, I believe it was June 12th, Danny Deffenbaugh contacted me, the lead investigator with Deffenbaugh & Associates. He reported, and he also reported this to Rebecca Clifford on the same day, that he'd been contacted by the supervisory agent with the FBI office in Sherman and said that they'd reviewed the information that the Deffenbaugh had submitted to the FBI office related to the PEDC forensic investigation, and that it did not rise to the level of opening a criminal investigation by them at this time.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay. And while I presume there are other possibilities to be explored, I don't know how far those range, to be quite honest. I guess, buzzword of federal investigation really hit the community hard, and I think it's important that update comes along at as timely a manner as can be had. I do want to be extremely clear one more time that no one, not myself, not the city manager, city attorney, or Mayor Pro Tem, no one, as far as I know, has asked them to discontinue their investigation. No one said, don't go to the PEDC meeting. That's as plain and simple as I can make it. I would ask the council at this time to instruct the firm to compile their findings in a summary form and present to both the council and the EDC. If anyone has any questions or any discussion, which I'm sure there could be, I would only ask that we maintain as much dignity as we can. All questions should be asked and given as best an answer as possible. So I certainly respect you all enough to know that you know that, but I do feel the need to go ahead and say that. So any discussion at this time?
Yes, I have a few comments. First of all, I really appreciate you saying that because the general impression was that you or whosoever took the liberty of telling them not to pursue further.
Sure.
I'm happy.
I read that in the memo, and quite honestly, that's the thing that has bothered me the most. Okay. I guess maybe I'm way too simple about this.
Okay.
If it's ongoing, we need to find out what's bad and get it corrected.
Okay. Having said that, there are certain things that Mr. Frierson and I am concerned with you on, and I'm going to point out it's not just being critical, but it's for all of us for future times. On the telephone conversation that you had, I want to advise you that Texas Open Meetings Act 551.04 Section D, Section E, they were both violated. And you, if you want,
I'm
going to.
Sure, go right ahead.
There are certain rules as far as telephone conversations are concerned, and Section D refers to meeting of less than a quorum, which is talked as a walking quorum. Two council members discussing a fact which has been on the agenda off, on, whether to gather information is considered a quorum, whether 4 members were present or not. So that section is violated. Section G says that a governmental body may hold an open or closed meeting by telephone only if there are three things present. One, either there's an emergency of public necessity that exists within the meaning of section 551.045. Number 2, the convening at one location of a quorum of the governmental body is difficult or impossible. And 3, the meeting is held by an advisory board. None of these 3 fit into an emergency telephone conversation. Certainly, there are times when you have called for an emergency meeting, and we have tried our best to be available for that meeting. You know, there are barring times that one of us has been absent, but we try our best to attend those meetings. The second thing that is required is that if you were to have this telephone conversation, then this conversation must be posted on the city website. Number 2, if this conversation is to happen, then this has to be made available to public, so it has to be recorded. But the opportunity needs to be given to the public to either hear the conversation before, after, or during. This is not something I'm making up. This is, if you want to read it, it's on, actually I'm sure you've read it when you took the test. It's on the Open Meetings Handbook of 2014, and it's written by Mr. Greg Abbott. So there are certain things which I feel have been violated on this. I'm not saying, you know, we may all make mistakes, but the problem that comes up is if we don't know the law and we make a mistake, we can plead ignorance. But once we have taken the test of Open Meetings Act, if we do it, then it becomes a problem. So I'd like to just point that out to you, that maybe in future we could avoid such things. And if there is a telephone conversation, or if there is gathering of information, then it should be posted on the agenda. Then, can I finish, please? Okay. And then be glad to answer. If I think all council members were informed about it, or there was a certain posting made and you made a phone call, I can understand that. Furthermore, the one thing which I did not understand is that there was supposed to be an open presentation by Mr. Deffenbach at the PEDC meeting on Monday. I'm not sure what day this conversation happened, but it sounds like it happened on Thursday or Friday or whatever day it was. There was very little time. I would like to know what was so urgent that needed to be checked with Deffenbach and Associates that could not wait 2 weekend days for all of us to be able to hear it. I understand what you have said, and I want to believe what you have said 100%, but the thing is, I'm short on the fact that I was not part of that conversation. Or not me, but all of us were not part of that conversation. Maybe some people don't want to be part of that conversation, but some of us certainly would like to have heard what he had to say. If he had to say that this is nothing wrong, that's fine, there's nothing wrong. That's why we ordered the investigation, to find out and eliminate doubts in any one of us' minds. If there's nothing wrong, it is good to say there's nothing wrong. We are doing the right things. Absolutely, continue on. The purpose of the investigation, whatever might come on topics or this and that, is besides the fact. The purpose of the investigation is not to harm the integrity of any individual or to make anyone look bad. The purpose of the investigation is to come to the bottom of it. If nothing wrong is done, that is wonderful. We can move on. We don't have to do it. But if there is something wrong, then the corrective action should be taken. If there is somebody that is accountable for their action, they need to be held accountable for their action. That is the purpose of the investigation. I think to say that, well, it's not an FBI investigation, okay, it's not an FBI, wonderful. I mean, we don't want our city to look bad in any way or form. But the thing about it is, I'd like to hear him say that. And number 2, I think if you had this conversation, the one thing I would have demanded in that conversation is, where is the report? And it is not a question of what Rebecca Clifford told him or not told him. It is a question, it is by contract, he has to give a report. So why is the report not there? Now, this all becomes hearsay because not all of us heard that conversation. He may have very well told you that Rebecca Clifford told her not to give the report or not to make the report, but it is beyond my imagination why she would want the report not to come out, and why she would not want all of us to know what the investigative result was. If it was good, wonderful. There's nothing wrong with having good results. But I think I'm a little bit disheartened and a little disappointed in you, I'll be very honest, in the fact that you are an educated man, you've passed the test of Open Meetings Act, and I'm more disappointed not in you, but the city attorney who advises us that there is a problem, you should stop us. If I'm doing something wrong, please stop me. And I will say, I'm not an angel. I did make a mistake one time on the Open Meetings Act. And I came out, and the first person I consulted was the city attorney to ask, did I do this right or did I do it wrong? And he said, well, you did it wrong. Well, I took the corrective effort measure and I immediately put it on the open agenda so that it doesn't happen to me again. And so I'm a little disappointed in you, but I'm more disappointed with the city attorney. He should have given you better advice to not have a walking quorum and to not violate the two acts that I've mentioned. Now, I'm not a legal expert. Maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, tell me where I'm wrong and I'll be glad to listen. But I've studied the whole handbook back and forth innumerable times, and if you would like, I'll be glad to read sections particularly pertaining to telephone conversations and open and a walking quorum. If you would like, I have the information here. I'll be glad to read it in public.
No, I understand what you're saying about the phone conversation, and you know, if that's your interpretation of the Open Meetings Act, and I'm not disputing your opinion by any stretch of the imagination, but I'll say this, that before we get lost in that, the issue was we didn't get the answers that we needed, and some of the ones that we did get weren't right.
But we all wanted the answers. It was not just you.
But we asked for the open record, a written report.
Mr. Pickle, with due respect, I'm talking to Mr. Frierson. I'm not asking you a question. I'm not asking him to defend or anything.
Mr. Pickle, would you like the floor?
May I have the floor?
Yeah, sure.
A couple of observations. Obviously, these things are coming out and your concerns are being expressed now. Perhaps they should have been expressed in March and in April with Mrs. Clifford when she was doing these things without the knowledge of the PEDC.
If I had known, I would have addressed them.
Well, obviously, none of us knew. So, again, she was keeping us in the dark.
You were not there in March, by the way.
No, I'm not arguing that. I'm just telling you what's been said. Now, my question then, I just forgot what my question was going to be.
Quite honestly, I'm willing to forget all of this. What happened, happened. It was a mistake, but...
I'm not.
Okay, well then...
I want a written report.
Absolutely.
And I've been after it.
I'm not saying I'm forgetting that. I'm just saying that what I have described as a violation of the Open Meetings Act, I'm perfectly willing to forget it as long as it doesn't happen again, number one, and as long as we all as a council demand that he submit a written report. He has been paid for it. He needs to submit a report. Whether good, bad, ugly, FBI, no FBI, it doesn't matter. We need a report.
Seemed like that's what we kept saying at 2 council meetings ago.
So
when.
But
I think
did you ask him at that time, since we have opened this topic now, that day, why did you not tell him, where is my report? And I'm demand this report by our next council meeting. So today, after having 10 days of date conversation, we at least had a report in our hand to discuss. And
The question was
and
asked.
please don't take me wrong. I may disagree with you on everything that we have done, but I'm not after you. So don't take it as a personal insult. This is a problem.
Gentlemen.
Sorry.
So,
I'd
yes, Ms.
like to
Lancaster.
say something.
Sure.
Be that as it may, we have a difference of opinion here, but I think we have a solution. Let's simply ask for a completed report to be delivered to PEDC, to the council, and to the public.
Is that,
When?
Sue, is that?
How soon? When? When?
Do we want to put timelines on it?
Well, he should have prepared the report
He should have
already.
already had it.
I agree.
I don't disagree with that, but Sue?
What do you
I
think is
take
a
your motion.
reasonable time?
Well,
You're more aware of the volume. I have not seen any of this.
I have seen no report.
So,
I have no idea of any volume.
The attorney knows
That being said,
what volume.
Can I have a second?
sure.
I just want to
Please.
respond to the Open Meetings Act. Council, I do want to address the open meetings question, and I do not agree with Dr. Hashmi at all on his interpretation of the Open Meetings Act. A council member placing a phone call to a third party related to city business does not constitute a public meeting. You do not have a quorum.
That's
It does
not what I
not
said.
require a posting under the Texas Open Meetings Act. That's a complete misinterpretation of the law. And also, to allege that it's a walking quorum, that's a big accusation to make. That when I know for a fact other council members, that's just part of that's just part of
members
that's just
what?
part of
Finish
no,
my-
no,
let me
I
finish.
don't have anything to say about that. That's just a part of being a city council member. You get called by constituents, you get called by people doing business with the city council, you get called by if you can't find out what's going on with an investigation, there's nothing wrong with the mayor calling that investigator and saying, why don't we have a written report? How come we hadn't gotten a written report in 2 or 3 months? What's the status? There's nothing wrong with that. That was not a violation of the Texas Open Meetings Act. I strongly disagree with you.
Okay, I'm going to read it now, since you've raised this issue, and I will send it to the Attorney General's office.
You have a difference of opinion.
Welcome to.
And so we have a motion on the floor with Sue to present.
Mr. Fraxton, you have to give me time to respond to this.
Well, we listened to you. We let Mr. McKillier respond to your comments.
Are you not going to let me finish a response to this?
Are you going to reiterate the things that you've already
I'm
read?
going to read the Texas Open Meetings Act.
Well, we have a motion on the floor at this moment.
That has got nothing to do with, why didn't you stop him? There was a motion on the floor
I didn't
then.
stop you when you were reading the first time.
Okay, well, why didn't you stop him? If the motion's on the floor, why didn't you stop him from speaking?
I'm not, Dr. Oshner.
Yeah,
Plain
why
and
don't-
simple.
Because I haven't had a chance to respond.
He hasn't had a chance to
Okay,
respond.
that's fine. If it means that I will submit a report to the Texas Attorney General's office with a complaint about the city attorney. If you want to go that route, that's fine. That's what we'll do.
Ms. Lancaster, do you have a date in mind? Is mid-July?
I
the
was
next council?
inquiring of Kent, the volume, what do you think it would take to pull this together into a final report?
Ma'am, it's.
I mean, I have no idea the
only
volume.
Yeah. I think it's quite voluminous.
Well, you think
What
a
I've
month?
seen. And I don't know, I can't speak for Mr. Deffenbaugh, I don't know how long it would take him to, I think he's got categories of reports that he's investigated, different areas, subcategories, and he's generated some summary reports or preliminary reports, and the only thing that I've seen was stamped preliminary draft, so.
Well, I understand that.
You would have to correspond with him and find out how long it would take him. I really
No,
don't.
I'm going to give him 2 months.
2 months?
2 months.
Okay.
And that's way longer than I
Can
really
I have a
want.
date?
What is
Just a date. I mean,
the second council meeting in July?
In
is,
July.
The 28th of July.
As best he can summarize what he has produced. We need to know.
I completely agree with you. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor.
Second.
There's a second. Any further discussion, or can we move forward on the motion?
The only discussion that I will say is, I could have finished the discussion on that, but now I'll take legal action on this.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
So that's July, what?
The 28th would be the second meeting in July.
Since it was brought up that I could contact this gentleman, is that true?
I believe
Is that true?
Ask Dr. Hoshman.
Mr. McKillian?
He'll be the one.
No, I'm asking the attorney. That's what we have him for.
But you've got your city council here right in front of you, and you've got certain city council members that feel that that's inappropriate for city council members to
Well,
have.
I'm asking
have
you.
phone calls.
They're not
I've
the
already given-
attorneys. You
I think
are.
the city council, if you all want to have court, if you want to communicate with Dethenbaugh, you need to appoint somebody as your leader to do that.
Okay. Anybody volunteer?
Well, I would think it would be the mayor.
I think it should be the mayor if anybody's.
Well, I'm not for it if it's not legal.
Well,
If
it's
the mayor
legal for
says it's
one-
not legal, then
Well, if it's legal for one
I'm asking
person-
for an opinion.
If you're appointing a contact.
What I'm saying is, if the city council wants to designate, if you all want to decide amongst yourselves who you want to designate to, whether it's one person or two people, or whether it's Ms. Clifford or whoever it might be, to be the person to communicate with Dethenbaugh and Associates, then you all need to do that.
Well, the contract was, what I don't understand is that the contract was with PEDC. The contract is not signed by the city council. The council only directed PEDC to do it.
That's true.
They are the ones who signed the contract. What legal right do we have to do anything about it? If you want to stop or start, you can take a motion to stop PEDC or not stop PEDC. But how do you discuss a contract that you've not signed yourself?
Well, Dr. Hashmi, it was the city council that initiated the investigation.
But he asked.
So I think it's a little naive to say the city council doesn't have a strong input.
We
does
don't
not
have a
a strong
contractual,
input
we don't
in
have
how
a
this is
contractual,
operated.
we are not a signatory to that. You can bring it to the council and ask for a motion to stop, start, and
So-
tell PEDC to direct. But how do you do it yourself when when you're not a signatory to a contract?
And a valid point, thank you. So
The city of Paris, the city of Paris is referenced in the contract many times. So
Did
it's
we
not
sign
like
it?
they're not part of the contract.
Okay, did we sign it?
The city council called for
Directed,
it.
the city
That's
council,
right.
Mr.
Right.
McAleer, directed the PEDC to do it. They're the ones who signed it. Their board is the one that approved it.
Mr. Pickle?
May I maybe amend your motion that we notify Mrs. Clifford that we would like to have a report from Dethenbaugh and Associates and the PEDC as, for July 28th?
May we do that?
With stipulation that PEDC board receive a copy, the city council receive a copy, and that we are able to share this with the public.
Absolutely. So with that, can we do that?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I was.
I
somebody might
amended
hear.
her motion that we request that Mrs. Clifford contact Dethenbaugh and Associates and give them a deadline to present us with a written copy as of the council meeting on July 28, 2014, and at the same time, provide every member of the council as well as every member of the PEDC with a copy of that report.
And the availability to share it with the public.
Well, yes, ma'am, and the
Yes.
availability to share it with the public.
Yeah, that's seems feasible to me. I don't have a problem with that.
So, we need to vote on this again?
Do you have a second? You got an amended motion?
Well, you got an
need a
amended
second.
motion, is there a second?
Can Sue
Does
second
Sue want
my?
to withdraw her original motion?
No, I'm
Yeah,
just.
I will
Or you're
accept
amending
his
it?
amended.
Okay, all right.
Just a second. Okay, all
You
in
need a
favor?
second on the amended motion.
I believe that was, can Sue do that?
I'll second it.
Very good, thank you.
Whatever.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Just somebody.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
You're opposed?
No, I'm not. Why would I be?
Oh,
opposed?
well, I thought you went no.
Don't-
I was asking
Okay.
no.
I said no opposed.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't hear you say
No
opposed.
opposed.
I was just asking.
Okay. Item number 23.
So moved.
Yep. We have a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.